Hey,
What's up?
nothing much.
Okay, can you hear me this time?
Yeah, I can.
Okay, good. Okay, so did you see Ika's message or whatever? How he's
No.
not using Facebook? I don't know. He said he's not using Facebook and he wanted to do it, but he hasn't messaged back. So,
I invited him.
okay. Well, we'll just start it and then if they want to like add in or whatever.
Okay.
Okay, so let's see. Um, what one do you want to start with?
Did you find a video to watch?
Oh no, I never watched. Well, the video like it never worked.
Mine
I,
didn't even show up. Like,
oh
I
really?
couldn't see anything.
It like didn't work. So I don't know. I never watched a video either, but
Okay.
I will. Okay. Do you just want to start with the like what's it called? The cask of Amontillado.
Yeah. That one was oh yeah, the one where he like buried his friend alive.
Yeah, yeah. Let's see. Okay, so the first question: how are the elements of plot important in these stories? So,
Well, um, what's the first thing called?
the what is it called? The
Exposition.
Yeah, the exposition.
Um, that like introduced the people, so we knew who
Who
was
they
being talked
were.
about.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah, and it told us that he wanted to get revenge on his friend or whatever,
hmm
and so like it kind of like builds up to the climax, like why things are happening, why he's doing what he's doing.
how it's different, like how it said in the beginning, it starts off with something like out of ordinary.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it says like he just can't take it anymore, so he finally wants to take revenge or something like that. Okay. How does the exposition either tell us, wait to tell us, or not tell us things about the characters that adds to how we respond to the story? I guess we just kind of answered that one too. Um, what is the major conflict in each of these stories, and how does that relate to the story's message? So, the major conflict in this is him trying to um, get revenge on his friend or whatever.
Yeah.
And then he ends up burying him in the wall. um, and then, so how is that important to the story's message?
Well, what was the story's message?
Yeah, I have no idea. I don't know.
I don't know.
Um, the story's message, I would say, like, oh, I don't know.
Maybe something like how revenge isn't ever like it. It's not good. Like it's not
Yeah,
healthy.
exactly. Like, you end up killing people.
Yeah, pretty much. So then the conflict adds to that because obviously they have revenge problems.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. When does the climax come, and how is that important to the story's message? Isn't the climax, I guess the climax is like hit when they're like down in the like old, what do they call it?
I don't remember, but when they're like, I think
Down
it's
there or whatever.
Ass is actually like rebuilding the wall
Yeah,
to make him be stuck down there.
yeah.
And when he chains his friend to the wall.
That's when I think that's the climax. And how is that important to the story's message?
Things can go bad quickly.
Yeah. Just don't have revenge so you don't bury people in walls.
Don't bury people alive.
That's it. Okay. How is the conflict resolved or not resolved, and how does that add to the story's message? The conflict is resolved when he buries his friend or builds his friend into the wall, and he puts the last one there. And
I think it was a little bit. I feel like there's probably something like at the very end he like wanted his friend to keep like responding and fighting, and then his friend just stopped talking.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like unsatisfied. He was like, okay, well, I guess it's done.
Exactly.
That kind of maybe shows like there is not real satisfaction.
Yeah, you don't get really what you want when you get revenge from people. It's usually not as satisfying as you think.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I mean, I guess we answered all the questions.
Yeah.
Okay, for the next one, the lottery.
That was so weird.
I know. I was like, what is the lottery? What is going on? And then all of a sudden, she's like getting stones thrown at her. I'm like, what?
Like, wait, why is? Because
like, why are these evil poems or stories?
It was so weird.
So scary. Okay, how are the elements of plot important in this story? The elements of the plot. So it kind of introduces them like this is a small town. There's not a lot of people. It kind of explains the like history of it, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
The whole exposition does that.
It didn't do like a lot of explaining though, and that adds to the story because it was like mysterious. So then
yeah,
you
it
didn't
adds
like,
suspense, like what's gonna happen, what's the lottery.
Yeah.
Let's see. What is the major conflict? What is the conflict in this story? Is it
I don't know. What's the conflict and what's like? Well, the conflict maybe is that people didn't want to get picked.
I guess, yeah, maybe so. Or like, oh, that's a good question. Conflict. Well, isn't the conflict kind of when the girl or whatever she's like, no, like this isn't fair, like why are we chosen, like this was stupid. Like the conflict was when they disagreed with what the lottery was.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's kind of the conflict. It's like they got chosen, but they have to get stoned, so they're like, no.
I think
And
there was
then,
also like a little bit of like a side conflict of the lottery staying like traditional.
yeah, and like, and it said in the story how the other town or whatever, they like stopped doing this.
Mm-hmm.
And so like, I think there's like a little conflict in the town being like, oh, should we keep doing this? But the guy that does the lottery, he's like, oh, they're gonna, that like young group, they're gonna go back to living in caves and stuff.
Yeah.
Um, okay, what's this story's message?
Maybe that you need like, I don't know.
Uh,
Maybe something to do with needing like a certain type of order to keep things in balance. Like that's what like they wanted from the lottery thing.
yeah,
They wanted like some type of order.
yeah, I can see that.
Like they like their traditions, they
Yeah,
like their rules.
exactly. Um, okay, so when does the climax come, and how is it that important to the story's message? So I think the climax is when they're getting their names drawn, and like, and then the family like they see that they're the one that got it. I think that's like kind of like
Yeah,
where it is. And
where it
then
starts going downhill.
yeah, how is that important to the story's message? Um,
Well, I feel like that is that. I don't know.
I'm trying to think.
I feel like this story made it seem like it was like an everyday thing, like it was normal. So it doesn't really seem like it has like a climax or
Mm-hmm.
anything because
It's just
it
like,
wasn't like out of the ordinary.
yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true. Um, let me see.
Um, but if we count the climax as like
Whoever's getting the lottery or whatever.
it adds to the message because it like shows what the lottery actually was, right?
Yeah.
And then
Okay, so then how is a conflict resolved or not resolved, and how does that add to the story's message? So the conflict is resolved, um, I guess, when they win the lottery or lose the lottery, I guess. They die. What?
when yeah.
Really? Um, and then how does this relate to the story's message? You know.
Maybe there's like something about like how all throughout the story it was like mysterious about what
Mm-hmm.
the lottery was. Maybe that has something to do with
That's true.
like maybe the message is something like I don't know, like you don't know what you get yourself into or something. I don't know.
Yeah, that's true. Like you need a. Trying to think. Like, don't always assume
Yeah.
that.
Like you
Because
never
we
know.
thought the lottery, we thought maybe they're winning actually, like a lottery, like you win money or whatever.
Yeah. And then there was that point where she was like, "It's not fair," and it was just really
Yeah.
confusing. Like, why wouldn't she want to win the lottery?
Like, wait, what?
Yeah, so maybe like how everyone was talking like positively about the lottery, and it
Yeah,
seemed
they're
like
like,
a good
oh,
thing.
this happens every year. Everyone's always there. So it didn't see it like it wasn't negatively talked about at all.
Yeah, like the only negative thing was that like other cities hadn't been doing it,
hmm
so like you could tell maybe it was like weird,
Exactly.
but like
Yeah, yeah.
maybe it's something like you never know
Yeah, I could see
what.
it kind of being that way. Like,
Don't judge a situation, like don't judge a book by its cover. Don't judge a
yeah,
situation just by what you see.
yeah, totally. Because totally like a curveball. Just like, and she like kind of like in the beginning they were talking about the kids collecting the stones or whatever,
Yeah,
but I thought like maybe they're gonna like go throw the rocks at the river because it's summertime and like the kids are collecting the stones for a different reason. But then all of a sudden you like curveball very end. Oh no, they're actually gonna throw these stones at these people that won the lottery. So
yeah. So the climax could have been her like getting stoned, yeah. So
mm-hmm.
then that adds to the message because you realize that you don't really know.
you don't you don't know your fate.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I mean, it's pretty good. I think. What am I supposed to write it on? How the plot elements are important to the message. I think I'll do it on the lottery
Okay.
because I don't know. I feel like we have a better message coming out of the lottery than the other one.
I know.
But
They're
yeah,
just both like short and weird though, so it's hard
they're
to
just
get.
both really like I don't know. They're just like scary. Like why? Just
Like,
really dark. I'm like, what am I reading?
I know. I was talking to my cousin. I was like, "Well, I just read the weirdest story."
Both of them were like I'm like I just read about two people dying and both of them were like
Like
brutal
in the
ways to die.
creepiest, most brutal ways.
I know it's freaking gnarly, but oh man. All right. Well, um, do you get the link after you close it?
Yeah, I can send it to you.
Okay, yeah. Just send it to me, and then that way I'll have it, and then I'll submit the paper tonight.
Okay.
Okay. Good work. See
Yeah.
you later.